Have you thought about what you want to be doing in 5 years' time? Are you clear about what your main objective at school is at the moment? Do you know what you want to have achieved by the end of the day? If you want to succeed, you need to set goals. Without goals, you lack focus and direction. And to accomplish your goals, however, you need to know how to set them. You can't simply say, I want, and expect it to happen. Goal setting is a process that starts with careful consideration of what you want to achieve and ends with a lot of hard work to actually do it. This time, students are bound to face several activities that conflict with other positions they play in various social institutions. Goals are important in the sense that they give you direction in life. It is better to have a simple or not so important goal. Having goals is like having a map. You know where you are, and this gives you zest, motivation, more energy, and the reason to get up in the morning. You become more alive. Do you have goals? I don't mean wishes. A real goal is not a wish. It is something into which you will put all your efforts. Setting a goal does not necessarily mean striving for something colossus. Simple goals are no less important than big ones. Only a certain percentage of the population is really interested in major goals and is willing to do everything. Your goal might be to become a millionaire, own a chain store, or become a famous actor or singer. However, most goals are not on such a scale. Most of them are more ordinary. The important factor of goal setting is self-efficacy. It refers to an individual's belief in his or her capacity to execute behaviors necessary to produce specific performance attainments. Self-efficacy reflects confidence in the ability to exert control over one's own motivation.
Albert Bandura, 1994, as cited by Weibel, 2011. Bandura defines self-efficacy as people's beliefs about their capabilities to produce designated levels of performance that exercise influence over events that affect their lives. People with high assurance in their capabilities approach difficult tasks as challenges to be mastered, set challenging goals and maintain a strong commitment to them, heighten or sustain their efforts, attribute failure to insufficient effort or deficient knowledge and skills which are acquirable, approach routines. In contrast, people who doubt their capabilities shy away from tasks they view as personal traits, have low aspiration and weak commitment to goals they choose to pursue, dwell on personal deficiencies, obstacles they will encounter, and all kinds of adverse outcomes, rather than concentrating on how to perform successfully. Slacking their efforts and give up quickly in the face of difficulties, are slow to recover their sense of efficacy following failure or setbacks. Fall easy. Clearly, perceived self-efficacy is closely aligned with hope. People with strong senses of efficacy are people with a positive outlook. People for whom success is almost an assumption. But how can people believe about their efficacy?
I am going to talk about the four main sources of efficacy beliefs according to Bandura in 1997. First one is the mastery experiences. The first and foremost source of self-efficacy is through mastery experiences. However, nothing is more powerful than having a direct experience of mastery to increase self-efficacy. Having a success, for example, in mastering a task or controlling an environment, will build self-belief in that area, whereas a failure will undermine that efficacy belief. To have a resilient sense of self-efficacy requires experience in overcoming obstacles through effort and perseverance. I am going to talk about the four main sources of efficacy beliefs according to Bandura in 1997. First one is the mastery experiences. The first and foremost source of self-efficacy is through mastery experiences. However, nothing is more powerful than having a direct experience of mastery to increase self-efficacy. Having a success, for example, in mastering a task or controlling an environment, will build self-belief in that area, whereas a failure will undermine that efficacy belief. To have a resilient sense of self-efficacy requires experience in overcoming obstacles through effort and perseverance. I am going to talk about the four main sources of efficacy beliefs according to Bandura in 1997. First one is the mastery experiences. The first and foremost source of self-efficacy is through mastery experiences. However, nothing is more powerful than having a direct experience of mastery to increase self-efficacy. Having a success, for example, in mastering a task or controlling an environment, will build self-belief in that area, whereas a failure will undermine that efficacy belief. To have a resilient sense of self-efficacy requires experience in overcoming obstacles through effort and perseverance. Third one is the verbal persuasion self-efficacy. Influential people in our lives such as parents, teachers, managers, or coaches can strengthen our belief that we have what it takes to succeed. Being persuaded what we possess the capabilities to master certain activities means that we are more likely to put in the effort and sustain it when problems arise. Receiving positive verbal feedback while undertaking a complex task persuades a person to believe that they have the skills and capabilities to succeed. For example, if one were telling an elementary school child that they are capable of achieving greatness and that they should set out to achieve anything their heart desires, this would be how verbal persuasion looks in action. Verbal persuasion works on any age, but the earlier it is administered, the more it is likely to encourage building self-efficacy. For example, if one were telling an elementary school child that they are capable of achieving greatness and that they should set out to achieve anything their heart desires, this would be how verbal persuasion looks in action. Verbal persuasion works on any age, but the earlier it is administered, the more it is likely to encourage building self-efficacy. Lastly is the emotional and psychological states. The states you are in will influence how you will judge your self-efficacy. Depression, for example, can dampen confidence in our capabilities. Stress reactions or tensions are interpreted as signs of vulnerability to poor performance, whereas positive emotions can boost our confidence in our skills.
Self-efficacy is one of the most enabling psychology models to have been adopted into positive psychology. It is the optimistic self-belief in our competence or chances of successfully accomplishing a task and producing a favorable outcome. Self-efficacy is certainly worth having because, as Henry Ford famously put, whether you believe or you can believe you can't, or you are right, Gandhi perfectly understood the pivotal role that self-belief plays in our lives. Your beliefs become your thoughts become your words become your actions become your habits become your values become your destiny. Self-efficacy is a belief or drive. Our mind is stronger than any power possible because it is responsible for everything that we do. If you believe that you are not capable of doing something, then you are not. And if you think that you can accomplish it beautifully, then you can. The concept of self-efficacy can also relate to René Descartes' infamous quote, "I think, therefore I am," because it's a matter of what you see yourself as. For example, if I think, excuse me, if I think that I am a talented and beautiful person, then I grow to believe that live under that belief until what I see in the inside reflects on the outside. Thus, self-efficacy means to go beyond your doubts and believing in yourself and your capabilities. Carol Dweck's mindset, one of the most basic beliefs we carry above ourselves, Dweck found in her research, has to do with how we view and inhabit what we consider to be personality. A fixed mindset assumes that our character intelligence and creative ability are static given which we can't change in any meaningful way, and success in the affirmation of that inherent intelligence. An assessment of how to those givens measure up against an equally fixed standard, striving for success and avoiding the failure at all costs becomes a way of maintaining the sense of being smart and skilled.
Growth mindset and fixed mindset. So people with growth mindset believe that their basic abilities can be developed through hard work and dedication. So people with growth mindset, they believe that challenges make them stronger, challenges make them grow, and they love to improve themselves and make themselves have a deeper understanding to some other things. They think that their basic abilities can be developed through hard work and dedication, and that is why they love challenges. Diba? They love to try new things. And they think that failures help them grow, and they see their failures as an inspiration to do more on other things. So, however, in fixed mindset, people believe that their abilities, their intelligence, talents, and personalities are fixed traits that cannot grow. So, in the fixed mindset, people that has this mindset believe that their failure is their limit. So, meaning if they failed once, they think that is the end of their capability. That is their limit of their capability. They don't like to be challenged, and they tend to opt out of other things, like doing some other stuff that they cannot do as of now, and they don't want to improve themselves because they have a mindset that they have the limit to their capabilities and their abilities. So, changing our beliefs can have a powerful impact. The growth mindset creates a powerful passion for learning. The passion for stretching yourself and sticking to it, even when it's not going well, is the hallmark of the growth mindset. So when someone likes to be challenged, even though they are having a very difficult time, that is the indication, or that is the sign that they have a growth mindset. This is the mindset that allows people to thrive during some of the most challenging times of their lives. So as what I said earlier, that people with growth mindset loves to challenge themselves, and they think that those challenges are their inspiration, and they think that those challenges can help them improve in some other way, shape, or form, diba? So, people with growth mindset, they thrive even though they are in the most difficult and the most challenging time of their life, because they love challenges, and they think that development can only be produced when you have certain hard work and the dedication to one's thing.
So the first in goal setting is the clarity. The first characteristic of your goal is that they should be clear and concise. When you know exactly what you are trying to achieve, you can more easily work to achieve it because you are better able to measure your results. For example, if your goal is too vague, as in do your best, it is much harder if not possible to measure your progress. So the first quality of your objectives should be that they they are clear and precise, because you can better quantify your results when you know exactly what you are aiming to achieve. You can work more efficiently to attain it. It's far more difficult, if not impossible, to track your progress if your goal is too vague, such as do your best. So the first in goal setting is the clarity. The first characteristic of your goal is that they should be clear and concise. When you know exactly what you are trying to achieve, you can more easily work to achieve it, because you are better able to measure your results. For example, if your goal is too vague, as in do your best, it is much harder, if not possible, to measure your progress. So the first quality of your objectives should be that they they are clear and precise, because you can better quantify your results when you know exactly what you are aiming to achieve. You can work more efficiently to attain it. It's far more difficult, if not impossible, to track your progress if your goal is too vague, such as do your best.
Goals must be understood and required upon if they are to be effective. It means that goals should be consistent in line with the previous expectation. The harder the goal, the more commitment is required. Working on a difficult assignment means more likely to encounter challenges that requires a deeper source of inspiration and incentives. Feedback. Feedback or asking question allows for clarification in course correction. It provides opportunity to clarify expectation. It is important to provide benchmark opportunities or targets so individual can determine for themselves how they are doing. Feedback doesn't necessarily have to come from the other people. It can come from self-judgment as well.
Task complexity. Be careful in adding too much complexity to your work, as complexity can impact morale, productivity, and motivation. Highly complex goals can become overwhelming for people, but it can also lead to lower quality work and poor performance in the when working on a team or personal goal. Remember to break down larger tasks into smaller, more attainable steps so as not to become flustered or frustrated as you go along. There is nothing wrong with modifying your goals in order to make the effort in achieving them a little less stressful. In other words, task complexity is like you're doing your task but you are being chased by the running lava. This lava represents your peer pressure and emotional stress. When you are being chased by lava or working with pressure and stress, the results of your work will become unorganized and will have an unproductive day. But if you work smarter than harder, you will be able to assess which activity will be set aside and which activity will be prioritized. In addition, in Locke's theory, he indicates that people are least effective at achieving their goal when they are inexperienced at performing a required complex task and feel pressured to perform well immediately. If you are undertaking a complex task, build in and allow time for training, for it helped you not today but for future reference also. That's all, and thank you, and I hope you learned something from our group.